Hi guys, we are going to pick up where we left off on Wildfire. If you remember from the last reading, a moose had come into the path of the Jeep and now the Jeep is totaled because it crashed into a tree. 19. Sort of Lost. My grandfather was born in Greece and came here as a kid, Delphi explains. He loves his country and everything, but he's also super proud of being Greek. Thousands of years ago, Greeks invented a lot of important stuff that we still use today. Anyway, my papu is a stonemason, and he talks a lot about this ancient Greek named Archimedes, who claimed he could move the world if he had a big enough lever. Because that's what papu does. He moves big stones and rocks with levers and crowbars. He's a little dude, my grandfather, shorter and smaller than me, but he can shift a 2,000-pound stone easy peasy. Trust me, tipping this Jeep back on level would be a piece of cake for him. Too bad he's not here. I'm not sure where she's going with this. Oh, he is, Delphi taps her skull. Right here. I've been helping Papu since I was little. If I'm strong, that's why. Despite what she said about her sore ankle, it doesn't slow her down much. Next thing you know, she's dragging me in the woods to find fallen branches we can use as levers. It blows my mind that she's so confident that we can do it. Rescue the poor Jeep. The best thing, we've got the tree as the fulcrum. So call it the pivot point. I can't do math. Archimedes must be the one who came up with that formula. But instinct tells me we may need a lever at least 10 feet long and strong so it won't break, but not so heavy that we can't lift it. Sweaty and hot, we work our way through the underbrush. Most of the fallen branches we find are rotten and useless. Delphi said hardwoods would be the best, like oak. But this particular stretch of forest is mostly pine and spruce, so we're stuck with that. As we search, I keep my eye on the logging road. Don't dare stray too far, or we'd likely get lost. And that makes me think about my dad and how much he loved hiking and being outdoors. Probably all those 12-hour days stuck in a truck cab made him crave fresh air. Anyhow, I'm sort of lost in my own thoughts as we kick our way through the underbrush. I'm not really paying attention when Delphi stops and looks up, squinting into the dense coverage overhead. Hear that? She inhales sharply. Is that what I think it is? It's a plane, unmistakable, a prop plane, and getting closer. We need to find a clearing. They'll never see us through these trees. And then we're running, or trying to run, because it's hard in the underbrush with so many things underfoot. And the miserable heat makes it even harder. Delphi's swinging along with her walking stick tucked under her arm like a crutch. Come on, find us. Please, please, please. I've got no choice but to follow, and anyhow, she's right. To be seen from the air, we have to find a clearing in the forest. I want to get rescued as bad as she does, so we're running deeper into the woods, following the tantalizing drone of the plane, hoping to find an opening in the forest canopy, hoping to be seen, hoping to be rescued, hoping. Got to see us, got to see us, got to see us, Delphi chants to herself as she limp runs. It's all I can do to keep up. I don't know about her, but I'm in full panic mode, heart revving like a race car engine, head pounding with excitement, sweat pouring into my eyes. A plane, a chance to be rescued, hot showers and hot meals, a phone call to Mom. Better yet, I'll just show up, make sure she's okay. What a surprise that will be. She probably thinks I'm dead. By now, they'll have told her what had happened at camp, the wildfire evacuation and me missing the bus. Maybe she checked herself out of rehab to join the search, assuming there is a search. Can't blame them for thinking I probably got killed in the fire. Whatever, I need to let Mom know I'm alive, because I can't imagine what she'll do if she thinks both me and Dad are gone forever. Go back on pills or worse? And worse, I can't bear thinking about, even though I do think about it all the time. Of course I do. More than anything, I want a happy ending. I mean, life is so tough and miserable that first year after Dad died, and Mom tried so hard to keep us going, just me and her, us against the world. One for all and all for one. We deserve a happy ending, just once. Please, please, please. We never do find a clearing, not that we ever see the plane, the canopy is so thick. But the sound of the prop engine gets fainter and fainter and then disappears. Silence, except for Delphi leaning against a tree, sobbing in frustration. This is so unfair. Yeah, it is. It really is. Delphi rubs her eyes and looks around. Where's the Jeep, she wants to know? What direction? We weren't exactly running in a straight line, I tell her cautiously, not wanting to upset her more than she's already upset. What are you saying? I take a deep breath. We're sort of, what? She demands. Lost, I say with a great sinking feeling. We're lost in the woods. Chapter 20. Totally boogered. The most important thing to do when you're lost is not to panic. Running around like a chicken with your head cut off will only make matters worse. Once you realize you're lost, you have to stop and make a plan. Making a plan and sticking to it kept me alive the first day when I missed the bus, and it can help now. First thing, try and determine which way is north. If the sun is low in the sky and you know it's afternoon, then put the sun on your left-hand side and you'll be facing north. If the sky is overcast or dark, or you just can't tell where the sun is, check the moss on the trees. Chances are most of the moss will be concentrated on the north side of the tree trunk. How do you know all this? Delphi sounds amazed. Are you a Boy Scout? My dad, he'd love to hike and camp and stuff. That's great, but how does knowing which way is north help if we don't know where we are? It's a place to start. First we establish north, then we walk east or west, blazing a trail. Delphi looks at me with something like astonishment. Blazing a trail, whatever that is. It's a way to keep us going, making sure we don't circle back on ourselves. In the deep, deep woods, you think you're walking in a straight line, but chances are you're going around in a circle. Dad explained it to me. Your dominant foot strides slightly longer, okay? Makes you veer to the left or right. One way to be sure you're going straight is to leave marks as you go, like a cut in the tree bark. If you circle back, you'll know. That's what trailblazing is. The blaze is the mark on the tree. Delphi nods thoughtfully. I guess that makes sense. Speaking of circles, did you notice the plane wasn't circling? My heart sinks. It wasn't, was it? It was sort of just kept going. If it was a search plane, it would have been circling, right? I guess. So it just happened to pass overhead, heading for the fire maybe, not looking for us. Delphi sounds discouraged. We have to find your Jeep or we're totally boogered. Totally boogered, I echoed. Do you think they'll find our burned up bodies or will we melt into ash? Hey, we're not going to burn up, that's a promise. She makes a face. You don't know that. I can't explain it, but I'm 1,000% sure we're going to be okay. She snorts. Based on what? Based on the fact that we're not going to give up. Who said I was going to give up? She's indignant. I'm just mad about us getting lost. I'm not giving up. You got that straight? You didn't get us lost. We both got us lost. Whatever. So you figured out which way is north? I nod and point. She adjusts her walking stick, tucking it firmly under her arm. Then we better start, what did you call it, blazing a trail. The sunlight's already fading, and I have no intention, none whatsoever, of spending the night in the woods. I don't care if my ankle swells up to the size of a basketball. We're not stopping until we find the Jeep. In the old days, they left the blaze marks on the trees with an axe or a hatchet. We don't have an axe or a hatchet, and trying to carve a mark with a jackknife would take too long. Another way is to mark each tree with a strip of cloth, and that gives me an idea. Delphi, what happened to your backpack? Left it by the tree stump near the Jeep. Why? Discouraged, I explain about using the strips of cloth for markers. She gets a funny look in her eyes. Maybe I can help with that. Turns out she's wearing a swimsuit under her clothes for that first night she spent in the woods. Whoever was supposed to meet her, they had planned on swimming in the moonlight. I didn't want him to think I'd go skinny dipping, so I wore a one-piece. She sounds ticked off, so I keep my trap shut. Stay where you are, Sam. Be right back. She emerges from behind the thick patch of tall ferns with a lifeguard red swimsuit on her arm. I cut it into strips with my jackknife. It takes a while, and Delphi looks on with a sour expression. I don't think ruining the swimsuit is what bothers her. More like being reminded that her friend never showed up. Whatever, she takes a handful of the bright red strips and helps me mark the trees as we hike through the dense woods. It's hot, miserable work. My gut tells me that the logging trail is to the east, and I'm pretty sure that's the way we're heading. We tramp around maybe a mile through the dimming forest, and dry pine needles are crunching under our feet, making sure we're never out of sight of the last tree marked. Trying to keep in a straight line as possible. Nothing. No logging trail, just more trees. So much for my stupid gut. It's going to be dark in a few minutes, and Delphi's voice is full of dread. Double darn rat puke. She laughs. Is that the best you can do? I pledged not to swear. You really are a Boy Scout, she says with something like affection. Good for you and lucky for me. Okay, so what do we do next? It's not like we have a lot of choices. Before the last of the light fails, we pick out a nice big tree and sit with our backs against the trunk. The ground is uncomfortable and the tree is rough against our shoulders. The only good thing is that there's no danger of getting a chill. Plus, being with another person somehow makes me less afraid of bears. Not that I mention the word bear, because there's no reason to give Delphi something else to worry about. I wonder how much blood you'll lose each mosquito bite, she asked. I must be down a pint now. Mosquitoes suck, they really do. Ha ha. Could be worse. Oh, really, how? We could be alone. We are alone, dummy. No, I mean alone, then you get bitten twice as much. She chuckles. You're funny. Do you think we can sleep leaning against this tree? No way. Me neither. We sit in silence for a while, leaning against the hard bark of the tree. Me, personally, I'm wishing for a nice, cool pillow. That and wondering what Mom is doing at this very instant, hoping she's not alone. She had friends before the pills got in the way, but true friends would keep her company in an emergency, wouldn't they? I'm not sure, and that makes me sad and worried. Delphi breaks the silence. Can I ask you a question, Sam? It's like really personal. Okay. What happened to your father? You don't have to answer if you don't want to. I shrug. He's dead. I figured that, but how did he die? So, I tell her. Have a great day.